On the 11th of April, we are going to vote in a referendum to ban or keep spring hunting. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I first heard this, my initial reaction was to vote no. However, as time went on and arguments were presented, I felt that they were a bit too extreme, and I didn't really feel that I had the facts myself. And so, with the media having already stated its agenda, I kind of thought that, you know what, it's time for me to find the facts myself. Today, I'm here to meet with a friend of mine, a lawyer, to better understand what the law states with regards to hunting.
Oh, right.
Hello. So, Mela, Lashinu.
Now, this is the European judgment that you asked me to find for you.
Oh.
It essentially establishes 4 things. 1, that spring hunting is legal in Malta by way of a derogation. Derogazioni, the exception to the rule. Spring hunting may be illegal in some parts of Europe, but for turtle dove and quail, the judgment makes it very clear that we can hunt them in spring. The second thing it establishes is that the reason why the derogation applies is because autumn is not a satisfactory solution. The third thing it establishes is that the birds we are concerned with are not endangered. The European Commission made the argument that those birds need to be protected, but the European judgment rejects this and says it's fine, those birds are of the least concern, we can go ahead and hunt them. But the most important thing that the judgment says is that the Birds Directive aims to reach a balance between the protection of birds and the protection of the hunters and their leisure activity. It says that putting down spring hunting, making it illegal in Malta, would essentially eradicate that sport. So that's why autumn is not an alternative. In other words, it would say that the balance of protecting the leisure activities of the hunters would be superseded by something the Birds Directive is not trying to achieve.
Malta, at one point, was in violation.
Yes, between 2004 and 2007.
Right.
The derogation applied, we were entitled to it, but we were in violation mainly because of an administrative issue. The season was too long, hunters were allowed to catch as many birds as they wanted with no limits, and the government wasn't reporting properly. So that's why we were in violation. It had nothing to do with the derogation not being allowed. Since the court ruling, the current legislation is in line with such a ruling, and the Commission has not objected. The balance that we sought to find has been found. Manish problema.
Okay, so let's move on to the referendum. Now, some people have argued, actually, that the spring hunting referendum would not put other hobbies or anything at risk or anything like that. Now, what are your thoughts on this?
This specific referendum deals with spring hunting and spring hunting only. But it tells the people something, that I can go and pick up 40,000 signatures from anywhere, and let's face it, we can get 40,000 signatures on any activity easily. And I can take those signatures to the government and say, look, Mr. Government, please listen to me. I have this concern. I have the backing of 40,000 signatures. Can we have a referendum about that? And there can be 2 types of referendum. One to take out a law and one to introduce a law, such as a ban, the introduction of a ban.
So, basically what you're saying is anyone can collect a bunch of signatures for anything, really.
Yes,
any
it
other
sends
activity.
out the message that you can do it for any activity practiced by any minority.
Okay, all right. Now, I just want to say, I mean, I know you, okay, and I know your father is a hunter. So,
He is.
So, aren't you being just a little bit biased?
I don't think so, no. It's true that I am very proud of my heritage and I identify with coming from a hunting family, but this is a legal interpretation I would have irrelevant of whether my father is a hunter or not, particularly because, I want to put my father's mind at rest and I want to make sure I have an objective view on the law so I can get people to understand that this is what is legal and this is what is not.
So, I am here in a dura, and I'm with 2 hunters. This is Jessica and Niall. So, you guys hunt?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you hunt?
نقضوا قميمة وسمينا.
Okay, just those 2.
إيه.
You don't shoot anything else?
لا.
Nothing else?
U hemm limitu wkoll ma nistax naqbdu kemm irridu. Kull ma nistgħu naqbdu ġiex gamimiet jew ġissuminiet kuljum, sa massimu ta' 4 fil-istaġun sħiħ. U l-istaġun kull mut 19 nofs ta' nar twil, ġiju qasir ħafna. Issa jista' jkun li jiena nkun għadni maqbaċ asfur wieħed u jkun ingħalaq l-istaġun għax hemm il-limitu wkoll massimu għall-kaċċaturi kollha.
Now, this is the thing. Personally, what I'm thinking is, I could just kill as many birds as I like, and just show the police, oh look, I just have these 4. So, how is it actually? What are the rules in that respect?
L-enforcement hija stretta ħafna. L-għet kull asfur li naqbdu dak il-ħin stess nidu nibatu SMS u nikbuh fuq il-ktib li jgħidu l-karnet de xaz. Pratikament nirrekordjaw kull asfur li naqbdu, mhux fir-rebija biss. U l-pulizija ġviri jagħmlu ħafna spot checks. Is-sena l-oħra biss f'April fil-dak il-ġematej li ħriġna għamlu 5,000 spot check li hija ħafna ġviri. Naħseb bħala Malta hija l-iktar post talija li hemm enforzar tal-liġi fuq il-kaċċa.
So there is a lot of sort of regulation and checking.
ħafna. Jaddu ġranet ma tara xasfur, ma tara ħafna pulizija. Fil-fatt dik iċ-ċajta ġviri. Naraw tal-pulizija milli jasafa.
Okay, so now, you guys have jobs as well, right? So you work and you go hunting at the same time whenever you can. And I'm curious, Jessica, could you tell me, what's it like being a girl in what appears to me, at least, to be a mainly male hobby? What's your experience in that respect?
Fil-ħodu hija normali, morru għal-kaċċa, ma timmorru għax-xogħol.
And what do you do?
Segretarja.
And what do you do?
I'm a project manager.
So you're not actually allowed to catch that many birds then? I mean, it's just 4. That's hardly enough for a whole meal, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, jekk nirridu niklu ikla, aħna nagħmlu ġabra bejnietna u nagħmlu dik li tissejjaħ gamimata. Hemm min jagħmel fenkata, hemm min jagħmel majjalata, u aħna biex nagħmlu l-ikla tagħna niġbru l-asafar ta' kulħadd għall-argument nitfawhom nippuljawhom u nagħmlu ikla waħda biex forsi jgawdih kulħadd.
And that's a gamimata.
Dik hija gamimata li jgħidula gamimata. Majjalata, fenkata, gamimata. Għall-argument tifhimni dik hija l-unika mezz li nistgħu nissodisfaw il-gost għall-gamim. Issa inti għada ejja naqra magħna fil-għalqa tagħna ħanuruk naqra dak li nagħmlu aħna fil-ħin tagħna liberu biex ingawdu l-kampanja Maltija.
In the morning?
Fil-ħodu.
What time am I going to wake up?
Aħna dejjem qabel ix-xemx kważi nqumu, però jekk inti trid inkun ħanim miegħek peress li m'hawnx kaċċa nistgħu noħorġu naqra ħin tan-nies.
Hello.
All right.
So I woke up today at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is unusual because usually I'm asleep at this time. We're actually here to meet some hunters in their fields to basically just find out exactly what they get up to and what they're about. So let's go on in.
Illi niġi hawnhekk jiena ħafna snin u niġu hawnhekk mhux biss meta jkun l-istaġun miftuħ. Anke meta jkun magħluq. Noħorġu l-klieb, jieħdu ftit eżerċizzju, nieħdu beċir bil-kampanja. Fis-stess ħin kif inkunu hawnhekk nittutelaw il-kampanja wkoll, ikun hemm xi tindif nagħmlu fis-siġar u forsi xi ħażin inneħħuh. U anke noqogħdu attenti biex naraw ikun xaw xi ħadd li jkun qed jikser il-liġi. Anke meta ma jkunx magħluq. Għax dawka ma jagħmlux parti mal-kaċċatur. Dawk aħna dawk in-nies ma rridhomx magħna.
Okay. So, you guys, you come here at this early in the morning?
Yes, of course, even earlier.
Even earlier?
Even earlier.
Really?
Even earlier. Before daybreak,
Right.
we make it a point to be here.
You make it a point to
We
be
make it a
here.
point to be here. When it's not hunting season, we come here to maybe do some work, fix the walls. Many times rubble walls that people would have thrown down
Really
looking for
knocked
snails.
down?
Yes, it happens a lot.
Looking for
It
snails?
happens, it happens
Okay.
looking for snails, yes. And even sometimes out of vindictiveness too. It's done, it's done.
That does happen. And, what do you do for a living then? I mean,
Jina dentist irtirat. Għamilt ħajti kollha naħdem u nistinka għax tal-familja, nistinka l-familja u f'dal issa kif wasalna nixtieq illi inkompli ħajti ftit snin li fadalli nieħu pjaċir bil-passjoni li kienet dejjem għal qalbi li hija l-kaċċa.
so this is very important then to you.
Hija importanti ħafna lija.
So, now, people complain, right? They say, look, we don't like hunting because we can't go out to the countryside, we can't walk around in the fields, and so on and so forth. So what do you have to say about that?
Din hija kollha proprjetà privata hawnhekk. Hawnhekk għandi l-proprjetà tiegħi jiena dan għandu tiegħu, kulħadd għandu tiegħu u nintaqgħu hawnhekk kollha flimkien. In-nies hawnhekk mhux suppost jidħlu. U mnalla nkunu aħna li nżommu għana difa u nieħdu ħsieb
Għal-ħaret ma neħdu ħsieb, għax naħseb xi skyscraper hawnhekk. Flezzijiet u hekk u malajiet kompla ġifieri l-bini. Ma nimdukrawa u l-fatt li nixtruha għal dan il-għan biex nkunu nistgħu ngawdu d-delizzju tagħna. Speċi nassiguraw li tibqa' għall-inqas kif inhi.
Okay, so tell me about your relationship with the countryside in general. I mean, people tend to say hunters ruin the countryside. Now, how do you react to that?
Aħna hawnhekk niġu għall-kaċċa f'April pereżempju fuq ġi xafar fuq ġi speċi biss. Minnaw Malta jgħaddu 400 speċi u meta ma nkunux għall-kaċċa jew ma jkunx hawn summin jew gamim tinserta ġurnata, aħna nieħdu pjaċir naraw l-asafar, nieħdu ritratti tal-asafar, jiġu aħna l-ambjent ingawduh mhux l-ispararu fuq għasfur hija parti minn ħafna affarijiet li nagħmlu. Aħna din għall-ħajja tagħna nixu ġol kampanja.
Aħna peċir tagħna nkunu niġru ġol kampanja. Peċir tagħna ngawdu l-ambjent u l-asafar ukoll għax mhux il-birdwatchers biss jaraw l-asafar.
Okay, so hunting seems to be turning out to be something I didn't quite know what it was. To be honest, I just thought it was about just shooting, but actually speaking to these people, they seem to really care a great deal about their fields, the countryside, and it's really part of their lives, which is not really the message I get from the media and from people in general. Perhaps we're jumping to too many conclusions. Perhaps we shouldn't be condemning something that we don't know, don't experience ourselves. It probably is much better if we just got to know it a bit more before we made such a definite decision on the whole thing.
Ħanħalluka ħna. Għal-għada.
Okay.
Ciao.
Good day.
Thank you, ciao.
Thank you. Get it?
Come on.
Kif it-tara Edward? Fadlina daqsxejn postijiet fejn niġu hawnhekk nieħdu pjaċir bil-kampanja u bl-arja u għal daqstant huwa importanti ħafna li nibqgħu nieħdu ħsiebhom, nindukrawhom ħalli għall-anqas nibqgħu ngawdu daqsxejn bil-ftit li fadlilna.
Hi, Edward.
Hi. Nice to meet you. All right. Okay, guys. Well, first of all, I'm actually quite curious to find out what is your sort of reaction about the very negative stereotype and image of hunters that's very often sort of circulated in the press and on Facebook as well. So.
I don't think that's a fair comment.
Weġġak ħafna. Għax tkun ilek tibni reputazzjoni ma toħodix għax inti hekk jew inti hekk. Fuq dak li tagħmel meta tiltaqa' man-nies fuq ix-xogħol u dak jibni reputazzjoni tiegħek kollha u jweġġak ħafna.
Saqat tkun ma saqat ġeneralizza, u ma saqat tkun estremist laqas.
Yeah. Now, actually, we've asked a few people about this, and we've got the video here. So why don't we just go ahead and listen to this and just tell me what you.
Hija passjoni bħal ta' ħaddieħor u ħobbi bħal ħaddieħor, naħseb tirrispettah u tirrispetta l-opinjiet ta' ħaddieħor.
Għandhom raġuni kollhom il-dat jagħhom li jgawdu għamma ma jridux jabbużaw.
Ma jabbużawx.
X'inhi l-opinjoni tiegħek dwar il-kaċċa?
Jien ma naqbilx magħha, imma mhux kulħadd l-istess hu.
Bal-kaċċatu ma tantx indilettannu tħaddet id-drittu. Kulħadd b'xi delizzju. La favur laqqas kontra.
Ġifieri jien nax fir-rebbija. Fir-rebbija ma nixtieqx. Għax jiġu jipassu law u hekk ma nixtieqx dik.
Dan id-dritt id-deroga u dak kienet ġid diskussa fit-dħul ta' Malta fl-Unjoni Ewropea u kienu speċifikament msemmijin fuq il-gami mus-summin. Ġifieri jien jekk jivvotaw kontra jisna qed nagħtu autogolu il-deroga miksuba.
Kaċċa sostenibbli hija ħaġa sostenibbli u xek. U kaċċa legali hija xi ħaġa ħażina. Ġifieri naqbel mal-kaċċa sostenibbli.
Tijadna l-ewwel.
Kaċċa legali.
Laqqasi kaċċa illegali, illegali huwa illegali.
Minnu legali u kriminali. Dak mhux kaċċatur. Mhux kaċċatur. U kif qalu sostenibbli. Hemm il-fatti kollha li l-kaċċa nagħmlu aħna l-għajmija ma' hija sostenibbli.
So you do draw the distinction. We do have another one, yes, and you probably recognize, whoops, where is it? There we go. This person, yes. So let's see what he has to say.
Issa għaddejja l-kwistjoni l-iktar li tissemma hija il-referendum għal kaċċa fir-rebbija. U Dr. Bożittila ħal stand tiegħu. L-ewwel nett taħseb li kienet taġit tal-partit l-stand laħa?
Naħseb jiena għandi ammirazzjoni kbira li Simon, naħseb bniedem down to earth, mhux bniedem li jimponi ruħu, però bniedem li jagħti direzzjoni u naħseb kifet napprezza l-kummenti tiegħu.
I don't think it does not surprise me. All the politicians have taken this stand. They will vote yes because they have all promised and applied for the derogation, both the Nationalist Party and the Labour Party. And even the highest court in Europe has decided that we do not have an alternative to shooting in the autumn period. So that's the reason why we have this derogation.
Okay, so now I feel I've come really far. I've actually begun to understand things that I personally wasn't all that aware of before. I mean, talking to the hunters and listening to what they have to say, this really does matter a great deal to them. This is not just about shooting. This is quite literally the days of the year that they live for. This is really important to them, to their lives. And, I mean, how many of us actually can tell what type of bird a bird is from far away? They can. They live very much within nature, within the countryside. They're so much part of it. And most of us spend our time trying to be, more like city people. So, the question for me is, aren't we just judging something that perhaps we don't understand completely ourselves? So it's not just to do with sort of shooting and things like that. I mean,
no, in fact, shooting is the least thing we do in Malta where we go hunting. There aren't that many birds, and shooting is the least bit. Liżjed ħaġa li nagħmlu għall-argumentu ngawdu l-kampanja, ngawdu l-asafar.
Right, I'm sorry, I've just been distracted by these. So, what are these?
These are my drawings. I mean, that's what we show As our love for
You drew
birds as
them?
well. I drew these, yes. I take pictures of birds. I don't only shoot birds. I mean, dini ħaġa li nagħmel żmien twil, mpinġela safar, apparti milli nieħu tratti tagħhom ukoll insajruhom kif sadduq inti llum nikluhom ukoll.
Yes.
It's something that people do not understand. Aħna ma morrux nixtru tiġiġa biex ngħidu kienna biċċa laħam nikluha wkoll, però what we catch, we eat.
Okay, so what you catch, you eat. So this is not just shooting. This is you going to eat the birds.
Yes, it's like people fishing. I mean, we actually go, so to speak, fishing with a shotgun, and what is caught is eaten. I mean, basically, we don't throw away anything that we catch. Kull ma naqbdu nikluh, kullu huwa kaċċa legali li nistgħu nisparaw fuqha, huwa sostenibbli għax l-argument il-numru li naqbdu huma żgur sostenibbli skont id-direttivi tal-asafar u letteralment vuol dire aħna nagħmluha biex ikonna ħaġa li forsi ħadd ieħor m'għandux. Tajra friska, tajra naturali, ma tintemax ġwies jew affarijiet li huma artifiċjali u naħseb għandna kull dritt bħal m'għandu bniedem jikol ħuta, aħna bħala kaċċatur we can eat a bird in the same way. It's allowed and possible to eat.
So you paint, you draw, you hunt, but what do you do for a living?
I'm an interior designer by profession. I've been doing that for the past 30 years. I've also got a graphic design side to me. Well, that's where the art comes in.
Right, okay.
And it's through my pictures, basically, that I get coloration and what have you. That's part of my hunting, where I take my camera along, take pictures of the birds, which obviously I can't shoot, and obviously get to do more with my birds than other people do, basically.
M'hemmx dubju kif in-nies iħarsu lejn il-kaċċa inbidlet matul is-snin. U naħseb it-tibdil li sar għandu jkun anki mitqies fit-tibdil li sar fid-demografija fordieri fl-att tan-nies ġewwa Malta. Għaliex qed ngħid dan? Għaliex meta kellna inqas nies kellna kampanja aktar kbira. U dan x'kien ifisser? Kien ifisser li l-kaċċa kienet anki tidher bħala bżonn mhux biss qed tidher bħala delizzju. Kienet tidher bħala bżonn għax kellek il-faqar nisru jiklu u kellek ukoll element fejn l-annimali peress li kellek kampanja kbira setgħu anki jidhru bħala teddida għall-istess ambjent. Illum ġara li l-popolazzjoni kibret imma l-ambjent naturali naqas, vordiri l-ambjent fi qabel kont mura l-kaċċa illum madu xem. U da proċess li għaddejna 500 sena minnu. Vordiri sa 500 sena ilu nisla kienet posta l-kaċċa. Sa 100 sena ilu jew 150 sena ilu raħa ġdid kien posta l-kaċċa. Illum ħadd ma jistaċċihom mal-kaċċa. Ifisser allura li l-popolazzjoni żdiedet u dak l-ammont li jista' jinqabad naqas. U naħseb hawnhekk fejn ġab in-nies li bdew iħarsu lejn il-kaċċa b'modi differenti. Mbagħad hemm ukoll it-tielet fattur li naħseb ukoll li qed jikkontribwixxi issa wkoll lejn għalfejn nies tħarsu l-kaċċa b'mod differenti ġej mill-fatt tal-films. Naħseb il-films ġabilna wkoll elementi ġodda kif inħarsu lejn l-armi tan-nar u naħseb ukoll li hemmhekk kien hemm nies ukoll li jużaw anki l-kaċċa biex ikollhom permess biex ikollhom center ħalli jisperaw mhux naħseb f'element ta' tradizzjoni biss aktar f'element li jgħidu ta' maċożmu ara jien għandi center biex nuri kemm jiena raġel, kemm jiena kważi f'limitazzjoni tal-maċużmu tal-films.
Over the past few days that I've been in Malta, I've actually got the chance to meet the people whose lives are going to be directly affected by the result of this referendum. You know what? I've come to see that actually hunting isn't just a pastime, it's not just a hobby. This is something that's really part of their lives. This is something they really do look forward to. Now, look, I get it. We want to enjoy the countryside together. We want to have our place for a picnic and all that. I get it. But so do they. And you know, actually, I found out that a lot of what they do, I mean, the hunting is well within what the European Union says. In fact, it's less. They are hunting less than what they are supposed to be able to hunt. And they do it mostly in very early mornings for a very short time in the air. You know, in Malta, this is a small country, and we're very often going to step on each other's toes. And we tend to battle with one another. And expect our way or nothing. Is it fair that because of a bunch of poachers, which all hunters dislike, then all hunters are going to be banned from going hunting? You know what? I'm not sure if it is.
lady and the gentleman.
That's enough, thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers. So, Mark, tell me, what is so important about hunting specifically in spring?
Well, the fact is we don't have an alternative in autumn, and in fact this alternative makes good għal-fatt li fl-Ewropa jinqabdu kważi 8 miljun bejn l-istati membri kollha ta' dawn l-istess safar li aħna ma nistax naqbdu fil-ħarifa. Allura l-qorti meta kkonsidrat di tatna l-alternattiva li fir-rebbieħa naqbdu kwota żgħira skont kif tippermetti d-direttiva tal-safar ta' 16,000.
So, basically you have a limit, but you don't even actually manage to catch that many anyway.
I mean, basically, the time we're allowed to shoot under derogation is very limited to the fact that basically half the hunters that shoot don't even manage to get one bird.
I see. I've actually never tasted so I'm quite curious.
Yes, your food.
All right, there you go.
It's your food. Your healthy.
Okay, let's try this. All right. No, well, I've never had this before. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Really nice. You did that before. You want to
Biżjed ikel salubri li għaw fid-dinja.
No. I'm lazy.